Mike, wheeling and healing. Something on my nose. Tucson, Arizona. Pat and Jessica's house. Was out there all day with the van, and I got a bunch of the roof down, the ceiling. Not the roof, but the wood ceiling and the insulation. And not all of it, because I didn't want to tear down my cabinet. And I realized I didn't have to get into the wall for the other side, which was cool. But I did break one of the boards, the first one, trying to get it down. And after that, it was easy because they had the male, how can I do it? With holding the phone with one hand. But the male female connectors of the wood on the ends, so that they kind of, you got to almost assemble it first and then put it up. And I think they did. And then they put the wall, and then they put the cabinet. After the bed first, and then the ceiling, and then I think the wall, and then the cabinet was the order that they did it. It's easier to see once I got some trim down, and was really just took a little bit of getting it going. But I found no mold. I was actually able to see the bottom part of where we had me and Matt and Adam helped big time one of those days, and where they patched it up, and the holes I could see underneath it where it like flattened against the insulation. And the hit is doing its job. And I couldn't exactly see where we did that also on the smaller holes on the side, but I was able to see enough. I pulled down the insulation because I didn't get the entire ceiling down, but I did enough that I was able to, the long sheets of insulation, I was able to really look. I was able to get my hand back there, and then on the wall, I was able to look right where the gutter would be. And then on the other side, ever since I haven't had my sink in there, it's been open, which was a problem with the kitty. But now that that's able to be open again, where my battery is, the tire well and all that under the cabinet. And I was able to see the window, and at first I saw this black splatter, and I was like, oh no. But then I realized it was some kind of a spray paint or something. And it was all dry. Everything's so dry, dusty. Matter of fact, it probably wouldn't hurt to like get some kind of a air and clean it out real good and blow fans and do that. But here's an interesting thing for me to consider though, is that it might possibly be in my head, which is weird because of how real it felt. And obviously I wouldn't have made like this cry out for help post the other night on Facebook if I thought for a second it was my mind playing tricks on me. But I know that anxiety is a big deal, and our minds are very strong. And I do know in the past, I might have mentioned this already on the other video, can't remember, but having the problem with living alone, and then roommates helped certain things, but that had issues for me of its own. But the alone part where they did help was I didn't ever have to wonder, oh my gosh, is there people in my home when there shouldn't be? Because there always was. And so that was a safety thing of its own for me. But relying on people in a kind of a heavy way, I got to realize, even though I'm in Arizona right now and not up in the Northwest, the warmth and the temperature is great, and sun versus cloudy days is great for sure. I'm counting that as a major blessing. I'm very grateful, but it doesn't change the fact how short these days are. And I know that's just a thing, I guess, unless you live like at the equator or whatever. And maybe that's something that I need to set my sights towards next, is maybe finding some kind of a permanent location there and then travel from there. And my felony's getting dropped anytime now. I'm expecting it to be probably in January, but it could be anytime February, whatever. It could take longer, but 5 months, they told me max. It should be about 5 months for me to get paid, and that'll mean for sure everything has been off the record and I can go get my advanced driver's license. And I don't know if I'll need to get, what do they call them? Yeah, the other things that you used to need to travel overseas and stuff. Whatever. Anyways, back to the story with the mold here is, oh yeah, that my mind's made up situations plenty in the past when there was drugs involved and not, and so I have to consider that each time, like maybe that I did drugs, it just kind of like rewired me a little more wonky, mixed with more traumas and PTSD, everything kind of just shaking up my nervous system more and more, messing with my mind more and more, creating the potential for more experiences to be illusionary or whatever. I don't know. I'm just trying to consider possibilities. It could be crazy. It was a very real smell, but no one else. No one else got fully in it, but people they got close to the door. No one else smelled it. So I actually thought it was so overpowering that it was like coming out of the doors and the windows and stuff too, which is weird. I'm just wondering what that smell could have been. Yeah, Jessica mentioned it could have been the kitty in the litter box. Yeah, yeah. Why that would have gotten so overpowering after I got rid of the box, I don't know. I can't say it wasn't that though. Could there be mold somewhere I didn't check? Maybe. I don't know how it would have gotten in the floor. I checked all the prime spots. It's not anywhere where there was leaking issues in the past, and it's not anywhere under the bed. Unless it's in the carpeting under my bed, or the hardwood floor area in front of that, or the original carpet in front of that. But I smell, and it smells fresh. It smells fine. The ozone could have zapped it, and in that case, only time will tell if the scent returns. But, you know, all in all considered, it's a good thing that this situation forced me to buy the ozone machine, which is all around good to have for removing scents and toxins from the air. Dehumidifier, really good for any time I do get moisture. Now I'm going to have one, and I'm not going to have to freak out and order one on the spot. So these are all good things to have. Counting my blessings every which way, and if there is no mold, I'm grateful for that. My mind made it up. I'm grateful for the outcome. Makes me really a little concerned on the state of my mind, if that's the case. But I can't say it's not anything because I just don't know. All I am is confused at the moment, and the dehumidifier comes tomorrow, so I'm going to continue with my plan of running that. But at this point in time, my game plan is tomorrow morning. There's like I think I can call it a church service. It's definitely a church. It's not quite a spiritual center, but it's a church. They definitely, what they said was, out of 7.5 billion people, you are here and you are loved. And they were just so kind, and I actually was late because I was driving in circles and then got stressed out and made a phone call, and by the time I went back and tried the original location and realized that was it, they were all congregating for coffee afterwards. And now I know now I know right where they're at, and now I know what time they start, and I can go early to talk to people. They were all so kind. They prayed with me. I started crying like a little baby, telling a couple old women my story, talking about how much I miss my daughter and my children, and you know, yeah, that just crossed my mind too. Like, it's been weighing big time. Like, I just hope that people that watch this would know that I love both my children very, very much. Angela and Lillian, I love them both very much. Spent a lot of time thinking about them both. Angelo is just a much, much different story, being adopted, and I've always seen him far less of a scheduled routine. And so when I am quick to say Lily or my daughter, it's not that there's more love or anything like that. It's just that there's been more guilt, more time spent, just a lot more emotion and stuff that I'm working through now, and more of a connection that in my mind was a little bit more difficult to disconnect from. Both are not easy. I mean, I loved every time I got to go see Angelo. I loved every part of it. I loved that Maya and Lily were the same age and got along for the most part, and it was just always a really cool thing, other than my own awkwardness and having a hard time being present. But that's just overall something that I was always experiencing, and now I'm working on that. But It's this time of year. I'm coming up on about a year since I've had an overnight visit with my daughter, and it was due to anxiety and depression, and expressing that to her mom, and it kind of spooked her. I told her, I said, "Hey, I'm having some suicidal thoughts and thoughts of relapsing, and I don't want to do either. I don't think I'm going to do either, but I'm just telling you because I'm telling people that that need more or less need to know are part of my support team or accountability." But in her case, it was, co-parenting and for the fairness of knowing the situation. And um, anyways, it's all, I'm sure it's all meant to be. I feel like everything that happens is what's meant to be. And so it's just weighing heavy on me lately. And so I got to understand PTSD, depression, anxiety, the disconnect from family and children. And I mean, I love my family, but fact is we just, I, I'm not that close with them, and it doesn't change the fact I love them and I think about them and I always wish the best and like think things like that. But it's just, I don't know. I've always kind of been a little like when I'm with them, I do the best interacting I can. But then it's just like I don't call them all the time and text them, so I'm present that way. I'm more like, anyways. So am I crazy? Am I crazy? Am I crazy? Always talking about nature, portals, and the energy, the non-physical energy there that I experience. I'm always wondering, am I crazy? I wondered, was I crazy in the apartment when I sensed people were in there? I double, triple checked, quadruple checked that lock. There's no way it could have been. But I still worried about it and still peeked and was, hello, anyone out there? What are you doing in my apartment? um, that felt very real when that happened. And that was nighttime, wintertime, and nighttime, wintertime now. It's just a different situation, but my mind nonetheless projecting something that's not true regarding my safety at home. Ringing in my right ear. I'm hoping 1221. I'm hoping I'm on to confirmation of something. Yeah, see, there's the numbers confirming. Like, you're not crazy. You're not crazy. You see them. Other people see them. Unless we're all crazy. The crazies are coming out. Wow. I'm just going to take this time with the space of anyone present that does watch to say thank you, Creator, in advance for all outcomes and for my health, for the health of my vehicle and the safety of me and my vehicle and the ongoing quest of living in the vehicle and traveling to these powerful portal areas in nature for healing and just self-realizing and just to gain awareness in all the aspects of life that is necessary for my path, and everything that supports my path, supports my health, supports my wealth, supports my passion and my connections with people and animals and places and just the present moment. Highest and best good for myself and everyone involved. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. 1331, 1221, and 1331. These mirrors. Yeah, hoping for the best. So I'll update later if necessary. Otherwise, it'll just be on to the next adventures of my life. Infinite love and blessings for you all.